Okay guys, I made it to the Branch Davidian. I made it here. Welcome to the new Mount Carmel Center, the Stone Church, the Branch, the Lord of Righteousness. Isaiah 11:1, Zechariah 3 and 6, Jeremiah 23 and 5, 6, 33 and 5, 16, Daniel 2. Okay, I'm told that there are 11 unmarked graves out here, and I'm bringing 3 markers today. I got 3 markers, tombstones that I'll show you here in a second that I'm delivering. One of the interesting things to remember about this, Alex Jones pretty much launched his career. Alex was very known, not very known, but he was known about. But then when Waco happened and he started to build this church behind me, I don't know if y'all can see it back there. Let's see over here. This really catapulted Alex Jones into the stratosphere about conspiracies, okay? Because again, this was not a conspiracy. What happened here, again, was another act of war on American citizens, okay? This land was not territory of the United States. This was sovereign land, is my understanding, where they had a social compact. But again, that's stuff that I've got to research up because I'm not positive on all that. But what I have learned, Alex Jones built that church back here in the back. Thank you, Alex. We really appreciate you coming down here and raising the funds to expose this and get this church built. But what I want to do right now is I want to call out President Trump. President Trump, you know that what happened here was an act of war, that this was unjust, that 76 men, women, and children were murdered here. President Trump, they were murdered. 20 of them were children. I'm now getting evidence that there may have been upwards of 80 people that died here, okay? But what I'm being told is that this case file has been sealed, okay? Clinton sealed it for 25 years. Obama sealed it for another 25 years, and it's now sealed to 2043. 2043. What do you have to hide? You have to hide the murders of 76 men, women, and children. 20 of them were children, were murdered. I'm going to show you here in a second. There were barbed wire, or what kind of wire? This wire that was wrapped around the building that would not allow these men, women, and children to get out. They parked a tank over top of the escape route to kill these children, to kill these men and women. This was another act of war, just like the act of war. That's a different war that's going on that went on in North Carolina, that went on in Los Angeles and Hawaii. That was a do and that was a harp. And now in South Carolina, they've cranked up the do again. Okay, this is not an act of God. This is an act of war. And President Trump, it's about time you stand up, you speak up, and take care of the American people. Declassify this. It's been classified now since 2043. Okay, you have the ability to unclassify this, okay? But what I'm also learning, guys, is that Charles and Alex Pace, Charles is kind of the pastor now that is running everything. Alex is his wife, and he had a stroke October 9th, 2 days after the event in Israel, okay? He had a stroke, and he's not doing very well. I've given him some of my pain chips, some of my energy chips, and he's on hospice. Hospice was here when I pulled up, and he's not doing very well. So please, guys, pray for him. I'm getting him Masterpiece sent in from Dr. Young and Matthew. Dr. Young, again, is in prison right now because I believe he exposed what was happening in North Carolina, South Carolina, Hawaii, and Los Angeles was a do and was a harp, and he further developed the product that Matthew brought to market called Masterpiece, which I believe is a miracle. And then I'm also getting Charles Pace some of the IGF-1 derived from deer antler velvet. This, I believe, is the most important key to allow his body to rebuild, recover, and rejuvenate. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I've never practiced medicine without a license, but I believe you have to make the cells communicate with my pain and energy chips, detoxify the body with Masterpiece, which is a miracle, and then IGF-1 derived from deer antler velvet. You can get it at getigf1.com. So here are the unmarked. They used to be unmarked. We've got Edna Doyle here, was buried, and what I'm being told is she did not die in the fire. She died later and then was buried here. We got baby 1 and we got baby 2. And Miss Pace, that there were 11 unmarked graves. So now 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we only have 8 unmarked graves. Her husband is the one that knows the whole story about everything, and he's had a stroke and he can't talk very well. So we're going to pray that the IGF-1 derived from deer antler velvet will help him, that the Masterpiece will help detoxify, and that the pain and energy chips will help the cells communicate. So please pray for Charles Pace, because I'm also being told that he is the last survivor of the original Branch Davidians. Okay, what I'm being told is that he left here when Koresh showed up. He left, and guess where he went to? He went to Gaston, Alabama. Okay, he left and went to Gaston, Alabama, and when this whole thing went down, he came back, and he was the one that Alex Jones worked with to build this church. Let me show you this church real quick. Look how beautiful this property is, guys. This is God's country. This is the church that Alex Jones helped raise the money to build for Charles and his wife. Right here, it's closed. They're closed on Sunday and Monday. I got here right when his wife was leaving, and he's had a stroke. He's got a sitter now in memory of House of Worship. Wow, who was that? I don't know who that person is, but this is the church that Alex Jones, and thank you, Alex, for helping raise the money to get this built. Over here is the swimming pool and whatnot, vault where the mothers and children were gassed. Okay, this was the vault that they parked a tank over. My understanding, this was the escape, and they parked a tank over this. The United States government parked a tank or a vehicle, something over top of this vault that would not allow these women and children to escape. This was murdered President Trump. You know it. These files have been declassified to 2043. It's your job as Commander-in-Chief, President Trump, to declassify that, okay? I'm going to show you the barbed wire. She told me it's down here somewhere. See if I can find it. But this is a swimming pool. And I'm going to come back tomorrow after my very important interview where we're going to expose everything as far as the MMR vaccine that is a bioweapon with the mRNA technology in it. And they're telling everybody that that child was not vaccinated, but I have very good sources that the child was vaccinated, but it only had one vaccine, and they're not considered vaccinated if they don't get both. Okay, so this child was exposed then to the live virus, and just like the ferrets in 1962 dropped dead, that child dropped dead. And all you people, I believe, that give your child this MMR vaccine derived from the mRNA technology, you will be dead. Your child will be dead. That's my belief. I hope I don't hit this electrical wire. So, if you have half a brain in your head and you don't buy into the propaganda, you'll see that this is a bioweapon. Plain and simple. And they're doing a whole hit piece Monday night on Law and Order to show that there's an outbreak of unvaccinated children. This is an act of war. And now we got Robert Kennedy Jr. promoting this. Robert Kennedy, are you compromised? I believe you are, brother. I'm sorry with all the women that you slept with. It's more than likely they have the goods on you. They've got the video recordings. But brother, all you got to do, oh, look at the rabbit. All you got to do is ask for forgiveness. Get on your knees, ask for forgiveness. The people will forgive you. So please, Robert Kennedy, quit going along to get along with a satanic Luciferian agenda. This is pure evil. See if I can find this barbed wire. What I'm about to show you now belonged to the ATF. The ATF used this to wrap around this property and to wrap around the house. This is why 76 people were murdered here, because the fabulous government, the fabulous ATF, used this to wrap around the home and the property. Look at this. This belongs to ATF. This is what was wrapped completely around the property. And on Wikipedia, it says that David Koresh murdered these 76 individuals. No, that's not what happened. What happened, the United States government murdered 76 people, possibly 80 plus, 20 of them being children, right here in Waco, Texas, because what these people were doing here, David Koresh, I don't know much about him and all this other stuff, but again, there's two sides to every story and then there's the truth. But what I believe they wanted to do here was build God's community that we call home, to get completely away from the government, get away from their statutes and codes, and be self-sufficient and tell the government to go to hell. And the government couldn't allow that to happen, because if people don't need the government, they lose all power and authority. We're going to do the same thing. Anywhere you're building a smart city, Christopher Key, through God, is going to build God's community that we call home, that's self-sufficient, that's off the grid, all with salvaged material. We're going to have a food forest. We're going to have a healthcare clinic there that nobody there will get sick, I believe. Because when you give this temple that God created perfectly, when you give it what God intended it to have, it heals itself from any and all things. Any and all things. That's what I believe. And what a beautiful day. God is great. God is good. Christ is key. Christ is key.life. Tune in tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, where Mary Toko is dropping all the receipts to prove to you everything I'm talking about. And more importantly, that there is, I repeat, there is snake venom in this new MMR vaccine. It has snake venom in it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Christ is key.life. Love you guys. God bless.